afternoon that are really pertinent for the rest of the day. I'll look at that. That's NASDAQ. I want to talk about DOGE, though. A lot going on in crypto space. This was this morning's crab, folks. Really nice. Ideal type 1. That's what I was referencing. Several of these on 233 tick all morning. So, I mean, that's everything, but there you go. Current deep crab, and it's probably just to throw this out for everyone that's here. I don't know who's all here. Looking for this retest one more time today. Retest on the hop. So let's bring that up. Thanks. Hold on. Great. Thanks, everybody. All right, I'm getting it together. I'm trying to catch up with you guys. Thanks, everybody, for coming in here. Excellent. Big shout out to all you guys from Mitch's group. How was last night? I need to get back to one of those Thursday night sessions. Here you are. Okay, so before I get into Doge, this is what I've been talking about just for today. For NASDAQ NQ, we've had a number of these crab patterns. I showed you that 5-minute. This is the one I'm looking for maybe later this afternoon. Look for a retest here. Classic type 2. And this is just a shout out, futures traders, if you're looking for something on a Friday afternoon. Really nice type 2 setup here. And that, for me, the way I look at this is we're in the middle of the day, the chop. These type 1s are really nice, but we're looking for the secondary test for the larger moves. And so somewhere around this 66 back to 901. Probably right now I would normally go get some lunch and come back. I will, let me look at some of the questions, and I'll try to keep it loose today. I'll answer questions as much as I can. I want to review the Doge situation and crypto in general. I think it was a massive test last week, and we have really succeeded. I'll come back to this NASDAQ here. Probably next week we'll do some future stuff. But that's a really nice one. And again, for everything we do in the gold member sessions on Harmonic Trader, that's really where we do a lot of the live stuff that I think is of value for futures traders, stock traders. So let's, enough of the rambling. Yeah, I'll look at Riley. Hey, Aussie CAD on the 4-hour shark. I'll bring that up. You know what? Since I'm going to cut this part, I'll do you the justice here of a quick 4-hour review. Aussie CAD, as many of you know, there's been huge daily, weekly patterns that have been shaping up. There's the shark. Okay, so the question is, what do you do with this shark pattern? And look what's going on. Okay, you're in the zone here. Your completion point is here, but there's no confirmation. And this is remarkably just a remarkable example of what absolutely happens when you don't have indicators coming out of the zone. And you have to step aside. Wait, I don't know if you're in this. 94.70, your hop level was 94.93. But you can, just by looking at what's going on here in HSI, and even if you're doing everything manually, and you just use standard relative strength index, RSI, look what's going on. Okay, as it's entering the PRZ, it's expanding down into the zone. That's always a sign of weakness, or a better way to say that, trend continuation. So we never look for a pattern as or consider a pattern actionable until it has some kind of indicator variable that confirms the zone. Is Harmonic Trader at harmonictrader.com working? You know what? I would better off to send it to Gmail, harmonictrader at Gmail, Mohammed. I've had several people send me emails in the last week or two, not get them to me. So I don't know why, but please send stuff to Gmail, harmonictrader at Gmail. So like all of these, and why I wait for confirmation is exactly for stuff like this. On the daily, I think, isn't there, what's on the daily here? I know there's some big stuff, daily, weekly time frames. Yeah. Um, a big deep crab. You've got kind of a shark. That's the blue line here. And, around 94.90, but we still need confirmation. And that's actually a better chart where, Riley, bring this up on Monday. We'll look at this on Monday because this is probably next week we get this registering down around 93.82. A lot of these have been happening. Just again, here's NASDAQ, but because it's a perfect condition and situation, something we've been looking at was HSI in this zone. We have this large crab pattern we've been talking about in the daily. 14,065 was the big, or no, sorry, 15,000, sorry, 14,052 was the prior high of this HSI signal. And we got the check back almost exactly a couple of days ago, and we have been down ever since. That's a perfect example of where to locate actionable trades in the zones. So this is a better area than certainly here on the retest. You need confirmation. In the same way that we had confirmation up here on the initial test, but no check back at a minimum until 10 bars later, 10 days later. But that's the normal expectation. I think everyone really needs to understand that with harmonic patterns, I know a lot of people are trying to draw immediate zones and just think that what happens with harmonic patterns is if it's a really great harmonic pattern, it just does that and will go straight down or move in your desired direction immediately. And that's not the case. The typical and actually your best scenarios are patterns that exhibit that consolidation phase. In this case, it give you a type 1 reaction, then you come back for the retest and sealed off with some kind of indicator confirmation, which we have up here. Also, we look at RSI and standard right here, standard RSI. Here is amplified RSI BAM. All of these expressing an overbought condition, and that's okay. DFODQ, have no idea what that is. And I will look at it only because I think what it is probably something that's really, what's that, a low Dean Foods? Yeah, we can't do anything like this. And this is probably watching me say this is, not tradable and then have it explode. But look, it's in bankruptcy. That's what the DQ stands for. This is Dean Foods. And the question is there a Gartley here? Well, we have a bat that Harmonic Pattern Collection is picking up. It's pretty nice, actually. Not bad, but do I want to risk how much risk do I want to take? Because look, it's bankrupt. It's out. There's nothing else there that would suggest I, take a whack at that. Unless I wanted to throw like 10,000 and just say, okay, I think I'm going to throw 10,000 bucks in here or whatever and risk it all in hopes that it maybe goes up to a target 2, which is a triple. Well, if you want a triple, you go to crypto. I mean, that's got everything we'd want to see in a pattern except for the fact that it's a pink sheet. And so that's where I really feel like some of the larger macro assessments of trading liquid markets, trading very clear patterns, not over leveraging, That's a total risk asset. Why you don't need that. There's a zillion other patterns that are going to give you phenomenal opportunities. There's just not enough sensible risk. There's a pattern for sure, and it would be great to throw a chunk of money at it. But there's other things that are you want to take a risk, go buy some Doge. In terms of the indicators, and just so to let everyone know, we're working with Harmonic Pattern Collection, okay, which is our harmonic pattern software platform for about a half a dozen different of the mainstream programs. That includes the pro version, includes all of the patterns, and then RSI BAM, that's our harmonic confirmation of how we look at relative strength. We also have the proprietary amplified RSI, that's an RSI variation that I came up with several years ago, many years ago now. Works incredibly well in tandem with our primary indicator, which is harmonic strength index. No matter what the market, what the time frame, we are looking for these to unfold in the same manner, but we want the best markets. We want the biggest markets. Go with NASDAQ 100, Dow 30, S&P 500, liquid stuff. And in terms of, futures and other aggressive instruments, go with the NASDAQ, go with the S&P. These are your best vehicles. I mean, Dow is a great vehicle to trade too, but it doesn't move nearly as well as NQ does. Now, in terms of how we look at all of this, no matter what, is we're just looking for the same confirmation after the pattern completes. There's some understanding required of type 1, type 2. The first time a pattern completes the second time. And a lot of this you guys will put together over the course of exposing yourself for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then going from there. A 2 or 3 week introductory commitment without trading it. Just watch the dynamics unfold so that you really get it, because there's a lot of mistakes that people will make that are completely avoidable. And that's something, I don't talk enough about things that a lot of people have been asking me recently about my relationship with Mark Douglas and the things that I learned from him personally. And I was very fortunate to know him for a number of years before he passed away. And, one of the critical things that he realized traders do is there's mostly like 80% of all of our mistakes are avoidable. And we have to just look at what we're doing. Really important to consider that. Now, in terms of confirmation, werewolf is of like what there's a couple different types. Our primary is harmonic strength index, and I will feature that with Doge and how we look at it, because even with patterns like for example, we're looking at the S&P, and many of you know we have been targeting not only this level but the hop level at 4,000 for the better part of 6 months. And when we had this, okay, and this is just one example, our confirmation in this rather strong bearish zone had a bullish reading, which again for us back in February, March was a sign that this was not really a very strong harmonic pattern. If anything, would go higher to retest the top range of the zone and continuing higher. So the whole thing about indicator confirmation is getting indicator a variable, if it's relative strength, harmonic strength index, to agree with your pattern. You have to have a bearish indicator extreme with the bearish pattern. In this case, you didn't have it. Not in anything, not in HSI, which is down here. You don't see any overbought reading. And finally, we have our first overbought readings all the way up here. It's a real good example of how a pattern comes together with indicator variables to really show you whether or not this thing's going to yield a reaction or a reversal. So do consider that, and the place to go, again, let me dial it back. Go to harmonictrader.com, folks. If you're not a basic member, just simply all I'm asking for is an email. I don't even do marketing. I don't even know why. I should just open the whole thing up free. But people are telling me to keep it this way, which makes sense because I don't want, in terms of like riffraff and trolls, I think some of it needs to be maintained. But once you register, become a member, log in, and again, this is where to get set up with everything that I'm going to show you today, because the videos, for those that are new, please give yourself the time. Take the next week or two. For a lot of you that have been joining me for the last month or more that are getting into this, how much further along have you come in the first 2 or 3 weeks of accessing the resources? And that is, once you log in, go to the basic members page, go through the books, as I said before, but let me show you today. I'm going to just walk everyone through. Here are each of the books. And volume 2 is the one that you want for indicator confirmation strategies. That's where I released RSI BAM, and it's incredibly powerful with completion of patterns. And again, the other thing, get the free 2-week harmonic pattern trial. So between the software and the resources I'm about to show you, you have all the tools that you need to get started and jumpstart your education within, it won't take long. I mean, anybody that's in here will tell you absolutely what the patterns are showing us, and then you bring together the confirmation, really powerful levels. That's what I strongly recommend. I've gotten a number of questions, people really getting into it, which is fantastic. And then the other thing is, get into the videos here, the intro from the very beginning. Okay, where did I cite all of the old time technicians, the guys that like R.N. Elliott, W.D. Gann, Arthur Merrill, Wyckoff, and about a half a dozen other people. Go through that video and then start from the beginning. Go through your ratios, then go through the pattern, each of the pattern uh, presentations. That will teach you the essence of each pattern. And then finally, the execution and management. You put that together, there's, I don't know how many hours, dozen hours or more, and go through all that material. You will be on the other end of a full framework that you will see immediately, and I'm about to show you. So again, you get with all that, you join us here, you know, join the YouTube channel, and also join the Twitter. So here's Twitter, and what I wanted to show and talk about today, since it's been something that I know a lot of people have laughed about, and I think it's a great example of really classifying what is trading, what is speculation, what is investing, because I think all of us should be realistic about what it takes to be involved with these crazy markets at the moment, especially crypto. And DOGE has been remarkably harmonic, following the MW framework quite nicely on many, many occasions, and we now have another one popping. So this was yesterday, and this is the whole W framework of a bearish bat taking shape. And now we're breaking out. We broke out yesterday where we're targeting that full retest, the 886 up there around 40. What was that? 41 cents. Doge is really starting to move right now too. Also, I've been trying to get Elon's attention. I don't know if he's paying attention or not, but a number of the patterns that I've been featuring, for example, this beautiful Gartley. Now, there's something going on here that's different than the prior pattern. This is what I put out almost 24 hours ago, and doesn't look like a really nice pattern. But what we understand, and really what I've been uh, emphasizing in recent years, is the importance of not only this first reaction, but the full retest. And it can go below the PRZ. In this case, we're down at the hop level. Hop is harmonic optimal uh, price level. And that on this secondary test, what I've been saying for the last couple of days is buy Doge. And again, I'm not looking at anything other than this as a market that is moving aggressively, expressing harmonic patterns incredibly well. And that's all. That's what our job is. Am I looking for this to invest and hold long term? Absolutely not. But what I've done, what we've repeatedly done, is catch a number of these strong moves. And here's that's an even better one. It was a day and a half ago, right at the low, right at the hop. Okay, because why? Because I knew the pattern completed. We had the first test up to target 1, target 2 zone, everything we want to look at. This is the expected framework. And then we had our confirmation a bit lower than we would like to see, but still valid. There's some other things going on here, but that basic understanding of a 1-2 framework sets you up where you understand that if that pattern's valid with confirmation, that should be the true harmonic confirmation point where we take off from. And that was 29 something. So let's jump into the chart. And what are we doing right now with Doge? You guys running it? I think you are. But seriously, it's the TA. Hey, what's up, Mitch? Mitch Ray TA is here. Thank you. Great to see you, man. Mitch and I will be here in Miami. First week of June, we'll be at the Bitcoin conference. So let's go to the Doge chart. And I will go back and review a few of the things that we have been looking at for a while. But I want to outline this next opportunity and how I'm going to play it because, you know, I've been featuring this, and I know a lot of people are following it and are in on the hype, and that's okay. I mean, great, be on the hype. All I care about is the fact that millions of people are invested in this and continue to throw money at it, and it's a surging, expanding market cap that technically has a whole lot of stuff going for it just on the immediate time frame. Here's the last, 3 weeks? And just showing, go back to the BAM chart, bad action magnet move, folks. So what we're looking for and what we can anticipate, and this is all within the pattern framework, is the fact that when we get 4 of the 5 points, X, A, B, C, and we go into that CD leg, well, we're shooting that gap up to the 886. That's how we know, that's how we can look to anticipate that final completion. It gives us a pretty nice target to the upside. Not to mention that our C point is pretty much the make or break stop loss on this whole scenario. That's how we look at it. That's how the W formation, the bat action magnet move breakout, as I call it, really takes shape. Now we want to see certain types of triggers. We want to see confirmation, continuation. But that is something, and this basic W formation is something we have been outlining at each step of the surge in Doge. And let's go back really quick. Go back just to the last several that we have caught looking at that same kind of assumption. Here was the first one we caught, and this was all the way at half a penny. And there was stuff down here that I was talking about. But a huge unthinkable surge, oh my goodness, all the way up to 7 cents, amazing. And then came back down. And we had the same type of thing take shape, where we get the XABC point, and now we make our way up and we target the 886. What happens beyond that 886, we can assess that. But this is much the same basic M and W formations that we're throwing on these to know when to look for acceleration, know when to look for the breakout. And if anything, with these cryptos, a lot of the real trick of capturing these accelerated legs is what everyone's really gunning for. And so your B point there, bat formation, why? Because your B point's at a 50%. That sets up the 886. And so I said this last week, it might not seem like a lot where you're looking at that fragment of a move, that segment. But I like to call that a high probability profit segment. I have a real high degree of certainty that we get the breakout continuation, we go from 4.5 cents above 7 cents. Now it doesn't seem like much, but percentage basis, you're talking 35-40%. So I really think that it's the same kind of rationale of looking at M and W formations. It's not difficult. You look at a few of the other indicators we throw into the mix, and you get to capture. It's a real simple breakout move that we've done with Doge over and over again. It looks like let's jump over to what's happening now. And this is Harmonic Pattern Collection for TradingView, and we've had a number of just pivotal patterns, even on the 4-hour time frame, mark critical points, real acceleration stuff. Look at the back to back, butterfly here up to a bat, back down to a bat, and then we get launching. And that's so. Let's look at where we are now, all the way up at 32, almost 33 cents. Targeting again this back completion. Will it get to $1? And I'll talk about that in a second. For right now and for the immediate short term, I'm just playing that segment, and that's it for me. I've been talking about this really since earlier in the week, last week around 26. Posted a whole bunch of stuff in the last few days. To shoot up to 40 cents, 43 cents. Okay, that's again another 40% move. And that's the thinking about this in those terms is really, I feel like you take out a lot of the noise, you focus on your levels, this thing's running. I don't care about it beyond from point to point. So personally, you guys, I've been in and out of this, but just to let you know that I've got serious skin in the game on this one. I've had serious chunks. I've been fortunate to capture several moves. And I've got another 7-digit position that I'm personally holding, minimum up to 42 cents. I think personally this will go and do the following. Something I highlighted yesterday. Let me remove all this. Of what if I was really looking for a termination point where this silly coin would be the end of the run, end of the bull mania. How would I look at that? And this is something I've been considering. A lot of things. This Doge reminds me a lot of the .com. Yeah, I don't want to be the last one holding the bag, but I'm definitely targeting levels where I'll probably sell chunks. I'll probably sell chunk at 40, 42. I'll probably sell another chunk if we surge on through there up around 50. But I think if we do the all-time ABCD, and it would look like this. Where do we go? Do it this way. There's A to B. Come down to C. And then your D is roughly, it's about a 130, about 53, 54, somewhere like just above 50. And again, I don't know if it's going to get to $1 or not. Okay, and I know everyone's Doge to $1 because it just sounds good. Quite frankly, that's it. But I'm on measured moves. Okay, there's no doubt. Look at these candles. Look at this, all of this real nice accumulation here. And with the obvious targets of the 40, 41, 42, maybe shoots up to 50, 52 on this move. And then I'll look again to take out profits and take out big chunks. But if we blast through, okay, then I clearly know that we have, maybe we do a 314 in a final capitulation. That would look like something like this. Again, we've all seen this, where you break out of the all-time range and you go to, I don't know, the 314 extension, which is basically what, off of that last move, about 106. And I just want to throw out some numbers. I really feel it's important that getting into this, like we did with the last one, where we were in at about 6 cents, I was saying 14 and then 22. It went to 43. But when I got up to the 20 something, the 22 level, and it just kept on blowing through, I knew there was more at hand. Also, once we broke out above the 10 level, and this was just a couple weeks ago, look at the past sessions, go back to the beginning of the month. And that's how I'm looking at this one right now. We broke out. We were at 6 cents. We had a whole bunch of stuff. Look, there was an HSI really nice on the daily that registered. And as we got above 10, 12, 14, we just were blasting through. There's the 20-cent minimum. And this is also something as just from experience to share with people, that we can line up our levels. And again, I like to measure everything in advance. And what you're going to find in your explosive cases, that when you get to your target, the price action is going to be so obviously strong and will rip through your target, where you just sit and wait and let it blow through. You'll let that candle close. It will be obvious. So that's what I feel we're looking at currently at the 40, 42 cent level. That if Doge does an explosive move up above that level and closes above this level, because also look, all of these prior closes are more in the 30, 37 cent area. So a lot of wick action above 40 on the last few moves. But this recent build of this sweeping higher highs, higher lows, really telling, especially bringing the other harmonic stuff on that. 41 cent to 45 cent. Yeah, that's a resistance point. That's on this move. Okay, where I'll see how it gets up there, but we're talking a 30% move from current levels to get into, oh, I don't know, get up there where with size, and it doesn't have to be crazy size, but with size, it's a nice trade. And with all of the hype, frankly, with all the hype, which is great to have in a speculation run, which this is, and that's all this is. It's a speculation run. Okay, I'm going to play it for what it is. Now, here's the hourly chart that I also pointing up. A lot of things here. These are automatically generated by the software. And so on that last ditch down, we had a bullish bat at the hop and pretty crazy. But with harmonic patterns, and crypto, that's not surprising. But we get the confirmation. Look, here's the initial test. Okay, right there, there's your D point. But the first bullish confirmation comes in over here. Your green arrow. That's HSI. Take a look. And that's at about, what, 24 cents. Even though you went all the way down here, there was other things going on down here at 15 cents. But just for this pattern, another example of why waiting for confirmation after it's completed is usually going to put you in a spot where your reaction, your real accelerated move, should occur shortly thereafter. I'd rather be positioned in here with confirmation than here with nothing. If I don't have confirmation down here, I'm scared that this thing's going to roll back down. But if I've got confirmation, it's pretty clear what you have right there. And now we have a bearish crab for the retest again. Look, this is perfect type 1, type 2 material. If you're not familiar with the type 1, type 2, that's the other important aspect of all harmonic patterns, the reaction and the reversal. So with this bearish pattern, there's your reaction down to target 1. 30 cents, really setting a floor at the moment. And how I'm looking at that is for a full retest to the terminal bar around 34.75 or the hop. Why? Because this is a deep crab as well. 36 minimum. All of this playing and building. I think you guys see this, where this is all building into and has been repeating over and over again. Maybe because it's such a mania stock, or it's such a hype stock that it follows the harmonics so well. People get crazy. They chase those 1618s, and then they have to have a correction. Now, here's something, again, I call it the type 2 return, where once you hit that target 1 and you have done your reaction, yes, we expect the return trade, where if we have some patterns at this level, maybe in a smaller time frame, again, another good spot to be looking for that quick reaction. And if it's going to really go and explode, failing this pattern would be the best way to do it. A lot of things stacking in here, folks. Within the framework of understanding the 1-2, type 1 reaction, type 2 reversal, then we have a better understanding that even if this is a huge sell, it's got to do the retest. We saw that in NASDAQ. I showed you that with the S&P charts when we started today. This is the same one. Again, just like that 5-minute chart that I showed you on Twitter. Okay, the type 1, type 2 reversal, so critical. Here's that 5-minute. There's the type 1. Okay, right at the low. And retesting that 30 level of the target on the 4-hour chart. This is a 5-minute pattern. And we understand, okay, retest, confirmation. That's why I was going crazy yesterday. I don't know how many of these posts I put up there. I think 4 or 5. So a lot going on with Doge. Yeah, there it is. There's the other one. There's the initial test of the Gartley. And so check out the Twitter. And here's that all-time chart also. I was trying to trace out. This one shows it more like 62 cents. So a whole bunch of things really stacking. And again, I'm looking for accelerated moves. Crypto, whatever it is, futures, that's how I'm handling it. Aggressively too. It's a well-defined segment up to that 36, 37, as high as 43, but you're talking, again, 25, 30% moves in short periods of time. That's how I've been playing this. I've done quite well with this in particular. A couple of the other ones, Ethereum has been real nice, and we've talked about Ethereum. That did a type 2 return. Remember this from last week? What was it, the 4-hour? I think it was the 4-hour. Or hourly. Let me go to the regular candles. I've got Heiken Ash here right now, and that's actually going to be a little bit different than standard candles. There's standard candles. Let me get a better feed. Binance. Where's the 4-hour? I think the last time we talked about this was with this ABCD, where again, reaction, come back, and now the retest. And this is a great one where bearish pattern in strong bullish environment. What do? You just maybe assume a reaction, maybe target one, and that's usually about it. The thing that really set off last week and the last 2 weeks was our daily HSI that we pointed out. It was back on the 20th. It had registered. I think that, yeah, we mentioned that in the last 2 weeks, but last week, I guess last Friday, we looked at, depending on the feed again, and if it's versus dollar or tether, but a lot of that 2200 area had an HSI. Now we have a bearish one on the top side here. What does that mean right there? Maybe a pause. It's gone up quite a bit, but for now, it's still remarkably strong. And Ethereum, folks, again, I think is done something on the weekly that I have pointed out that really has marked the acceleration. Here it is I talked in the last couple of sessions. I won't do it today, but go to last week, and we talked about this M formation in the complex structure, and the fact that not only that, okay, that usually only marks a consolidation, but that we came back up into the overbought zone. And in my opinion, this is about as strong as you can be, where this will go back up. It may even form another complex structure, but anything that you see going on, any pullback, is going to just be normal consolidation. It's going to be a long time before this thing forms a bearish pattern of magnitude where it would be any kind of substantial reversal signal. The weekly level, again, that we've talked about on Ethereum is an easy XABCD calculation. And It's really just an extension, harmonic extension of going off of this last move. Our, what do we do? One, that's not right. Let me do it this way. Just like that. That's not right. Where's the 1618? It can't be a 2.0. 2300. Where's the, oh, I know what's, and okay, here's another one. Here's another thing, okay, that you have to be aware of. And I find it interesting. Where for some reason TradingView loves to set their charts at log, okay, logarithmic, and it still works. You saw all those patterns. On a log scale, your 314 on Ethereum is at 4,200. Now, I just do arithmetic, the regular scale, and I think that's the best way. The log scale is great to look at for analytical purposes, but for measurements, stay with your, just standard regular scale. This one has your 314 XA BCD there at 4,200, 3618. I think we said about what, 5,000, 4,800, 4,900 on this run. And Bitcoin did a similar move and absolutely blew that out. Bitcoin, its weekly all time. Take a look. It's following the same path. So, folks, if you're not into Ethereum, you want to be. Uh, Let me delete it. Wait for a pullback. Wait for, maybe we'll get back to 2,500. Those are the two bats that started it all on Bitcoin. This is the weekly Coinbase feed. Now, there's your 1618 again on about, what's that, 30,000, 28,000. That was an initial target we had. But we're at the 3618. That's what that reaction was last week. 3618, 65, 66. Your 314, 57. Okay, 57.5. So there are reasons why these things are pausing at this level. And Bitcoin definitely leading the pack. I'm not worried about it. I think this is just naturally needed consolidation. Again, I think it's better to look at things like your amplified or look at relative strength index to really gauge what's happening. Again, I showed this last week as well. Just another M formation for Bitcoin. And in this case, on our amplified reading, it almost got to the 50 level, which would have been perfect. I think maybe this will drag out and take some more time, but just building higher for the return, again, on the weekly. It has to do that secondary test. This is just something, folks, that in my research and things that I realized we're working with the harmonic patterns, the M and W formations, we can apply them in the same way with indicator structures, and it yields a lot of interesting relationships. So this M formation complex has to be retested. That gives you a nice bias to the upside where Bitcoin has to go higher. Yeah, the comment was that I moved ETH into ADA. Yeah, and I did do that. And ADA went up a fraction of 20%, where ETH really exploded. Let me go to that and we'll show that. Here's Cardano, ADA. And again, just another one taking more time. It's this thing was 12 cents. We were on this, I think this bat pattern around 110. I think it was back here. And it did a couple moves, but it just hasn't broken out of this range. I'm not really terribly concerned about it. Take a look at what the indicators are doing, at least the return here of our amplified. It's back above 50, and we've just held this range where we're building and building. So again, I still have Ethereum and still have Cardano. Um, I have a big chunk of Doge and a few others. They've all been working out pretty well. Yeah, the engulfing on ADA. You look the ADA thing, Mitch. Mitch is there's the man. There is the man. Mitch is calling out the engulfing on beautiful. That's what that is. That big engulfing candle on Cardano. Yeah, and here's the other thing that links up with that. Check out. We have a big M formation. That was one of the things I said why we would just look for consolidation here. But now we have gone back up into the overbought extreme. So just another situation where this becomes, I like to say, hyper excited when you do that and you go back just like Ethereum did. The Ethereum turned back into the overbought zone, and that was followed by a sizable blast up to new highs and just continued. And so again, I think that's what's going on here. We'll look at that maybe next week, but the big targets on Cardano, take a look. They're two something, 240. Hold on. What's the again? Look at just a side comment about multiple data feeds. You want to look at multiple data feeds from all the different major brokers because they're carrying them at different starting times, and they're going to just have different results. Like Coinbase just started listing it. Cardano. There you go. What's that? That's the Binance. What's that? Coinbase. That's the Coinbase feed. There's the versus the Tether. But on the Coinbase feed, I think that actually shows you something as well. And that's a good one to look at because that did a big pop on Coinbase, although I don't really think it traded up there on other exchanges. But look what's happening here. Come down. Sorry. Came down. Did a nice divergence at the low here back, just a week ago or so on this last retest. And that should get it going. We're back up again. Look, crypto's back, okay? And the Bitcoin situation that I mentioned last week, and probably let me just jump over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit 57,000. I was tweeting earlier in the week. Let me see if they still have it. Back, I think, last weekend. Yeah, there it was. Okay, so on the 25th, I posted on that daily RSI of 29. And on the 24th, we also had a whole bunch of stuff. Big signals for Bitcoin. Deeply oversold. And let me see if I find the chart. Yeah, we talked about it last week. Let me see here. Now, look at last week's session. Oh, is that it? This is it. So this is it. There you go. Great example. There you go. Deeply oversold. No real pattern. But again, got me starting to look. Really got me focused. We had a HSI. We had amplified. The green line stopped right there. That means RSI BAM is completed and we start looking to the right. That was a lot of the logic last week. And that was 49,000 was the real line. There's a question. Wouldn't the exchange with the most liquidity give you the most accurate data? It would, but not when you don't have enough data. Also, some of the other earlier exchanges that have more data are more relevant to know the lifespan of the entire market traded. So you know where those early holders are still holding. Those price ranges are relevant, and we've seen that time and time again with our major expansion targets that have followed in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, Bitcoin, here is that signal it triggered at what was that 48,300, basically 49,000 is what I was saying. You want to go to that, and you want to go to this daily level as well, because the daily triggered an HSI, and even better, the daily also triggered an RSI BAM, a very high level RSI BAM, folks. You might not know what that is. What you do need to know is that it's a double test. It's a major double test that, look, green line stops. We start looking for the bullish opportunity to the right of that. Bring in HSI arrow, which you have. There's a lot of things here. And not to mention, look, your red line up here is on. All of this indicates that you need a minimum retest back up to the extremes. That puts pressure on the signal to push it higher, looking and be as conservative as possible, but minimum retest the all-time highs is 63, 65,000, real likely, very likely. And I mean soon. That's what I want to look for between now and next Friday. XRP, yeah, okay. I'll look at that really quick. XRP, that one I know what I think we talked about that of the perfect. Yeah, look, here you go again. Perfect. This was one we talked about on the complex structure presentation 2 weeks ago. Here you have your M formation in the indicator. This is amplified RSI. Look, there's M, the B point. All parts of the M are above the extreme. That sets up the return. And I think we were looking at this when it started to roll over. And I just said, look, let it come down, and then look for the retest. And that's the same, that's what we have here. You had HSI, you're on your way to retest. So I would expect even a full 886 before that even registers an overbought. And that's around $1.85. Again, the same kind of M and W formation that we're looking for. From a ratio perspective, we treat it the same way. Comes down, I'll look at it at the 50 level. The 50 level is right about there. Are we going to just blow on through? We'll know very soon, but I'll first look at the 50, which is around 145. That's probably your short-term support as well. And then look at the 886 at about 185. Yeah, it broke the multi-week resistance. We talked about it 2 weeks ago, and we talked about it in terms of this M formation, and that had to be retested. Also, we said that the weekly was quite strong. Here's your weekly ripple. XRP here. Yep. This is another one. Here's a great example of why we want to look at different data feeds. Here, XRP has all of its historic data. On some exchanges, you won't have it. And these measurements, even if that's light volume, it really matters. We want to measure the entire range and assess it each step of the time. So currently, you're dealing with a full 50% retracement like that. What's that top at 55%, 56%? Okay, maybe we come down to like a 382 or something like that, which we've already done. And maybe it's a Gartley, or maybe it's just an ABCD up at the 886. Something like that. All right, but that falls fairly nicely within the whole framework, our W formation. And how do we get a clue of what even to be projecting anywhere? So come back, look for a 50. Yeah, you're at the 50 level now. And the other thing is, with these kind of high flyers, as we talked about 2 weeks ago, let them explode. I know Polygon is the most recent one. And look here on the 4-hour chart, you look at that bat pattern. I mean, awesome, awesome bat pattern. That's the kind of thing you want to look for. Also, because of that complex formation, came down, bang, and you had another one. So do look at the one from 2 weeks ago. These M formations are so important in how we look at crypto, because if you get a big thrust up, you get an M formation and then comes down to the 50, start looking for another leg higher, the next move. That I think that little technique is really easy. You can do it with RSI. You're just not going to get as many signals. I think amplified's the best way to go. amplified RSI. This is on Harmonic Pattern Collection. Gives you so many of these that if we're looking for patterns that are in that area, like here, we knew that this thing was correcting. We talked about why XRP needed to basically let some steam out after the massive move. Comes all the way down, gets oversold, and then bang, right here we have the pattern. That's exactly the situational aspects, situational positioning of patterns that where you really get explosive moves. XRP is one of them. I like it. Let's just dial it back. Let me wrap up here. All right, I wanted to talk about DOGE. And DOGE is just a vehicle to speculate in. That's all it is, folks. And I'm just here to speculate. Think of it as a really great penny stock. Okay, a couple weeks ago, 2 months ago, it was a great pink sheet stock. Now it's a penny stock. That moves fairly nicely for a penny stock. And I'm just looking at signals like this clear uptrend returning for a full retest. Looking at this HSI trending higher with all the other stuff that I started with today. On a percentage basis, this kind of vehicle is absolutely what we want to capture. This could be an option trade. There's just so many similarities here that if we separate ourselves from the essentials that are required for something that's really of value, like if you want to put money in the market, in the crypto market, okay, and be involved and be secure, go to Bitcoin, go to Ethereum, go to Cardano, buy and hold, wait for a bullish pattern. But for speculation trading purposes, for maximizing our opportunities, especially in this crypto environment, I'm just going with those setups and those markets that are moving aggressively as much as possible. Question: how do I get the amplified RSI? So I'll show you guys in a second how to do that. But I just want to be clear about what we're doing here. What are we doing here? We're speculating. I know there's a lot of people that are out there in the crypto space who are dollar cost averaging, which might be great for them. I don't have that much time. I don't have, in terms of how I want to maximize my trading skills, dollar cost averaging is not for me. And I think for all of us, I think we are all a little smarter than dollar cost averaging. Maybe we make mistakes, but I know for a fact that dollar cost averaging is pretty much a lazy trader's way to try to participate in this market. I'd rather be a little more disciplined than that. And this is exactly laying out my framework of how I look at this stuff. So DOGE, definitely. We'll come back next week and see how it goes. But again, target this big 886 retest. Okay, this thing has been working extremely well within the BAM framework. The bat action magnet move, the M and W formations have just been really just remarkable. So for whatever it is, if you're not comfortable with DOGE, find another one that's doing it. There's several of these are doing this. EOS, Cardano is another one. OMG, there's a bunch of those altcoins that got wrecked 2 weeks ago and are all exhibiting stuff like this. So I leave that for you. Let's see how we do. Let's see how we get to, let's see if we get to the 886. But this is really just about utilizing our strategies for speculating, aggressive management, aggressive targets. But it's been working well. And some markets go like that. And if you can identify those, when gold's trending, that's great. And you'll get a lot of really nice, crisp entries. And these cryptos, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and the others are doing great. So listen, I encourage everyone to go sign up as a basic member. Take the time to just understand the strategies that I'm describing today. Access the free resources and then get the free trial. So where to get the free trial? Simply go to our 2-week free trial page. It's on Twitter. It'll be posted in this video. And the HPC Pro has everything. So I think that's actually MetaTrader is a great one. It's got FX, it's got currencies, it's got crypto. Ninja, Sierra, they've got the big, larger crypto. Um, and Bitcoin futures is available in eSignal. But the one that I'm working on that everyone can try for free is the TradingView platform. So send me your username for TradingView. I'll give everyone a free 2-week trial, but I strongly encourage you take a few days if you're really new, just go through the materials and just learn a bit about the framework and the patterns. And you'll understand this will be so clear. I mean, it'll be very clear when you go through and you see patterns repeating left and right. But here's another one. Look at just another high level bat pattern. But once you have some chart time, you see this stuff, you're going to realize that you have a strong, predictable framework. You bring some of the other stuff into it. You really have a clear idea of what I'm talking about, and your predictability, your ability to project targets gets extremely more precise. So get with that material, go to Harmonic Trader, become a basic member, and then try those. Send me an email. And if you have questions and when you're ready to subscribe, just send me a note. Send me a note to harmonictrader@gmail. That's the best place. Get with YouTube and all these social media. I keep it pretty loose. Look, I don't do a lot of marketing. All the tools, all the work speaks for themselves. And the last note is that if you have already studied the material or you're aware of harmonic patterns and you know how effective they are, um, you have followed my work. I strongly encourage you to follow the software. In today's day and age, with all the technology we have, absolutely, you put that at your fingertips to do all the work for you. The Pro version has the screeners, so you can do all your match lists and just generate charts and generate pattern matches. And again, both of those are available for free trials. So that's what I have for today, folks. Again, thanks everybody. Big shout out, Mitch Ray in the crew. Thanks, man. Always great to have you in here, and I'll catch you maybe next Thursday as well. And then get with a gold membership if you're ready to subscribe, and that comes with everything. Any questions to me? Absolutely, please just harmonictrader@gmail and give me 24 hours to get back to you. Other than that, the rest is up to you guys as traders, and I don't have to tell you that. This is not easy stuff that we're doing, but with the right discipline, the right focus, there's nothing else better that we can do with our time in terms of our employment, our livelihood. There's no greater opportunity than these markets. So I leave that to you because you guys have to do the work. So get with me. Any other questions, send me an email. Otherwise, guys, we'll catch you next Friday. Thanks again, and we